Bruce Lee looked unstoppable. The fastest hands, the sharpest mind, the most famous martial artist on earth. But what most people don't know is that Bruce Lee had a day so terrifying, so painful, that he truly believed his life was over. And it wasn't a fight in the street, it wasn't a tournament, it wasn't even an enemy standing in front of him. It was his own body. Bruce Lee's most brutal battle was against something he could not punch, something he could not kick, something no amount of speed could defeat. This is the story of the day Bruce Lee was broken, and how that darkness created an even greater legend. In the late 1960s, Bruce Lee was finally becoming the man the world would soon worship. Hollywood was beginning to notice him, martial artists feared him, and students followed him like he carried secrets no one else could understand. He wasn't just teaching kung fu, he was changing the entire idea of fighting. He created Jeet, Kune, a philosophy that believed combat should be free, fluid, and real. Bruce believed the human body had no limits, and he trained like a machine possessed. He ran miles every morning, lifted weights, kicked until his legs bruised, punched, until his knuckles bled, and pushed himself harder than anyone around him. Bruce Lee wasn't trying to be good. He was trying to be unstoppable, almost immortal. But immortality has a price. Slowly, Bruce began feeling pain in his back. At first it was small, just tightness, just discomfort, something he thought he could ignore. Legends don't rest, legends don't slow down, and Bruce believed pain was simply weakness leaving the body. But this pain was different. One day during intense training, Bruce attempted a heavy movement, pushing his body beyond what it could safely handle, and suddenly something snapped. A sharp, sickening pain exploded through his spine. Bruce collapsed. The man who seemed untouchable was suddenly helpless on the floor. His students froze in shock because they had never seen Bruce Lee like this before. He was rushed to the hospital, and after doctors examined him, they delivered words that sounded impossible. They told him he may never walk normally again. Bruce Lee laughed at first, thinking it had to be a mistake, but the doctors didn't smile. Then came the sentence that destroyed him inside. They told him to stop martial arts permanently. Stop fighting. Stop training. Stop being Bruce Lee. To him, that wasn't just an injury, that was death. Bruce returned home, but he wasn't the same man anymore. He was trapped in bed, a warrior forced into stillness. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and he stared at the ceiling while his dream felt like it was slipping away. He couldn't kick, he couldn't punch, he couldn't even stand without pain. For the first time in his life, Bruce Lee felt real fear, not fear of another fighter, but fear of becoming nothing. Linda, his wife, later said this was the darkest period of his life. Bruce became depressed, restless, angry. A dragon trapped in a cage, unable to move. But then something changed. Bruce Lee made a decision. If he couldn't fight physically, he would fight mentally. He began writing constantly, page after page, studying philosophy, psychology, combat theory, and the deepest truths about human struggle. He wrote about defeat being a state of mind. He wrote about obstacles becoming the way forward. As slowly, even while still in pain, he began planning his comeback like a general preparing for war. Bruce started rehabilitation with tiny movements, painful stretches, small steps that felt impossible. Doctors still believed he was finished. But they didn't understand one thing. Bruce Lee was not normal. He trained his recovery like it was the most important fight of his life. Every day he pushed 1 inch further. He told himself he would come back stronger, or he would die trying. Against all medical expectations, Bruce returned. Not just walking, but training again, faster, smarter, more intense. But now, his training wasn't about looking good. It was about survival. That injury changed him forever. It made him obsessed with efficiency, with reality, with eliminating weakness. Many people believe Bruce Lee after that injury became even more dangerous because he understood something deeper than fighting. Your greatest enemy is not another man, it is your limits. Here is what makes the story even more powerful. Bruce Lee's injury never truly disappeared. He lived with pain, even during his biggest films, even while becoming the most famous martial artist alive. Every kick you see, every movement, was done by a man whose back could collapse again at any moment. Bruce Lee didn't become a legend because life was easy. He became a legend because life tried to break him, and it failed. So the next time you think of Bruce Lee, don't just see a fighter. See a man who faced the scariest opponent of all, hopelessness. And he defeated it not with fists, but with will. Bruce Lee's greatest fight was never filmed. It happened in silence, in pain, in a hospital bed, where he chose to rise anyway. If you want more untold Bruce Lee stories, the hidden battles, and the moments that shaped the dragon, subscribe now, because the next story will shock you even more.